Hi, first of all, welcome everybody. Can you hear me at the back? Yeah, loud enough? I'm gonna try to keep this tone, which is not easy for me, but I'm gonna try to speak loud enough. First of all, once again, welcome here. I'm super glad to see you all tonight. We're gonna talk about Notion. We have a journal title, which essentially is gonna be more about presenting the new features of Notion that are specifically good for teams and collaborative tool management, not tool, project management. So sorry. So first, let's dive in. Can you start? Okay, perfect. This week is a little agenda of the talk of today. We're gonna quickly introduce each other and also Notion for the people that might not know the tool yet. We're gonna explain who we are because you might not know it. And then we're gonna talk about like mainly two, let's say, categories of new features: database improvements, because there's been a lot of new improvements to the database feature in Notion, and then everything else pretty much. And then we're gonna have a Q&A at the end. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them at this time. Start with um, I'm Camille. As some of you I recognize, so we might know each other from some communities online, maybe the NoCode friends or the Notion community, which I co-created and manage to this day. So essentially, I am freelancer. I'm working with Notion. It's been a year now to help them develop the French community, and this has many implications. It can be online through social media posts, like content creation. It can be directly engaging with people, users, on Discord, Facebook, Twitter, and all that. It can also mean doing a lot of events, such as this one, but also a lot of online events, webinars, and things like that. And before working directly with Notion on that, I used to do a lot of consulting and implementation of Notion Workspace for people, freelancers, startups, things like that. So that's about it. My name is Mary, and I fell in love with Notion about 2 years ago because I have plenty activities and I needed a tool, complete tool, to put everything from my mind. And it was difficult to find a complete tool because, for example, I knew Trello and Asana, but it wasn't. I didn't like it because I wanted to personalize, customize what wanted to put my workspace. And I discovered Notion, and I just fell in love. This is really nice. Um, and now I began to be a freelancer some months, and to help organization to improve their workspace, turn on a workspace with Notion.
Hi everyone, my name is Alejandra, and I am an economist and a business consultant, but right now I'm working full with Notion. I am a Notion certified consultant too, and also I'm part of the ambassadors community. Alongside Daniel, we found Notionologia, which is a space in which we share all of our education content about Notion only in Spanish, but we're also raising content in English and a little bit in French. We focus on building products within Notion and also on doing consultancy. But right now, I enjoy a lot building products within Notion. Sometimes I don't like to call them templates because I think they're like bigger systems. But I try to blend all my business knowledge with Notion and host everything over there. Ready on that. That was.
So that's me. I don't have a video. So that's fine. So I'm a notebook maker and I co-founded Notion here with Alejandra. My side of the business is to connect Notion with other tools to be able to provide to our clients, usually startups or medium enterprises, with workspaces that really works with them and connect them with other tools. I think software now is all about connecting with other tools, move our data around. So that's what I do and what I love to do, connecting Notion with other kind of tools.
And just to tell you, we are all Notion ambassadors. and we wanted to meet each other by presenting something here today. So that's the reason why we are for on the stage. For those who maybe I can touch on this because the Notion Ambassador is a program for people that love Notion essentially, and there is 200 people maybe in the group now, something like maybe more, and it's all over the world. So there's people in like yeah Asia and people in all sides of America, Europe obviously, and so finally we meet in person, and we're very big Notion fans, so obviously we love to talk about it, to explain things to you. So for those that don't know Notion yet, or maybe just know the name but don't know the tool yet, what it is. There's many ways to describe Notion. Essentially, it's a no-code tool that can allow you to do pretty much what you want. There are limitations, of course. You can use it in a very simple way as a note-taking tool. That's level one, let's say. You can take notes and write documents with like images and all the type of media inside. But you can also use it to create systems or products, as we said. Um, Imagine that it's Lego pieces that you're gonna pile up together, and with all your little Lego pieces, you're gonna end up with a boat or a castle or whatever you want. It's up to you to mix and match blocks to create whatever you want, whether that's an internal tool or an external. You can create like small websites. I wouldn't say apps, but you can create websites based on Notion, blogs, and create LinkedIn things, internally and externally. So that's about it. It's a possibility tool, as Francis said.
Yes.
It's another ambassador flex because we usually say that Notion is a productivity tool, which is also true because you do increase your productivity if you use Notion usually. But overall, it's more about the possibilities of what you can do with the tool since it's very flexible. So we're gonna dive in with you.
Okay, so one of the new things that Notion launched recently, and for me, it's one of the biggest changes that we have, like not this year, but at least this semester, is team spaces. So before that, you will have usually pages under pages under pages. Sometimes you will have like an organization for your team, or you will have like the home and everything under the home. So thanks to that, you are going to be able to better organize your teams within Notion. So, for example, in this example, you have a sales team with the proper wiki, the proper reports. Then you have the finances. As you can see, there is a little lock because now you can make a sort of like a channel, a private channel in Slack, but within Notion. So you can create spaces private with only the right stakeholders that you want to have in those places. And then you have also an extra layer of permissions. So now you are able to have more control of how your data is shared inside Notion with your employees. So now when you create a team space, we'll have three possibilities. You can be open one. So for example, let's say there is a party in the office, so you can create a team space for the party and everyone can join. You have a closed one. So I can see there is a space that's called finance, but I can join, or a private. So for things like that are more like confidential, you can have a private space with only, for example, the people that will manage the workspace. So, for example, there are two main use cases here. So the typical organize your specific teams on departments like we usually do, or even you can have people working in remote or people working in different offices. So you can have like for different events. You don't need to be able to organize everything on the classic way. You can do it whatever you want. That's the power of Notion. You can adapt your company, you can adapt your needs and build what you want.
Hi again. I'm going to talk a little bit about the new features that Notion launched, and I'm going to focus a little bit on databases. We have like a huge advantage because as ambassadors, Notion hear or feedback more immediate. So some of these changes that I'm going to show you here is because us as a community has been asking for some of them. Of course, we cannot have everything we want, but we have a little advantage. This one is for the Kanban view, and now you can edit your content directly from the Kanban view without having to open all the card. And this is a huge side. This feature saves a lot of time for people that use this in the work in the space as a professional. This is really helpful. The second one, this is drag field. This is a little bit more like you can see that as similar to Excel because you have this dragging, and this is also a time saver because now if you have a lot of items in a database, you can fill them just by dragging. We hope that in the future we can only double click the button here and it will fill out, but we hope that in the future. This is the status property. This is a new one, and for project management people, this is also very helpful because before we have to fill this one with the select property. And right now we have a proper status property to do all of the project management side. And this is also very helpful if we are creating progress bars because before we need to do like huge formulas just to know how many of these tasks were finished. But right now with this property, we can make those calculations very fast. And the science database was this was also a life change in Notion because now we can bring data from different sources in one single view. This wasn't possible before, and this changes all the dashboard structure that we were used to because we used to have like long dashboard showing information from different points, and now we only can have one linked view with point information from different sources. So this was also really, really helpful for project management and all the workspace dashboards. And the improved relationship is also very helpful. Before this, we only can see the name of the page in the relationship. Right now, we can have like with these 3 points, we can manage how many properties additional we can show over here. So this gives you more information just in one side. And this is also part of the relationships improvement. And this, with this, we can show over here in the beginning of the page more information about the relationship. So it is easy because the information that is over here is also clickable. So this reduces a lot the number of roll-ups that we used to have in relationships. And this is also really helpful also for the people that is building code in Notion. And in here we can apply template has a default. And we can choose if we can apply the template. The template has a default in this view or in all the views. So this is also really helpful because now we don't need to go to new and apply the template, but we can choose use a default template that will be applying to all of the pages, the new pages that we are creating. And this is the last one that I'm going to be talking about, and it is the side pick. This is really helpful if you have a lot of items in one database because you don't have to open the card and then go back and then open another card. So you have a little bit over here, and this is really helpful for that. And you can also move with your joints with these arrows. So it is very easy.
Yeah, and you can change also if you rather to put the sidebar here, you can put it here and you can put it here. You can have like a complete page or
complete page in the center or at the center.
Okay. I'm gonna talk about some small changes, but they can have a really huge impact for your organization. The first one is the request access to pages because before, when you clicked on the accessible page, you just came back to a blank page telling us just go back to your workspace. But now, if you don't have access to a page, you can just have this message here, and you can ask to have access to these pages. So this is really interesting when you are working with some other people and they have like a private page, and you have to work with them on this page, and you can just ask for access here. The second one is so Notion improved a lot of things about comments. This one is so it allows to put comments preview. Doesn't matter where on the page. So it's easier to collaborate with people because you can add comments anywhere in your page. But also now, if you want comments directly part of the text, you can you can just take the text and comment directly on the sites, and comment is gonna stay here, and you can just resolve the comments, and it's gonna disappear. And also, yeah, no. Okay, there are so many things about the comments. Just check it later. And you can have now the links preview when you you put some external links. You can just see them like this there if you put your cursor. Yeah, cursor on. Mouse, I don't know. Can say that. But you put your mouse here, and you can see a little window with your link, external link. So this is interesting. I'd like to jump in on this. It works with not everything, not all the websites, but it does work with Figma. It works with Jira, Trello, robots, GitHub also, like a couple of integration, like very specific, in case maybe you just want to know what it's about and you don't necessarily want to click, and sometimes you don't even have access, but at least you know what it is that you're gonna see. Yeah. And before, when you created a database and you have some pages in this database, you can could see who created the page just if you added the special property. This is created that. Yeah, created art and created by something like it's not by that. Yeah, automatic property. But now you can see that in all the pages, not just in databases pages. And you can see that here on the sides, you can see who updates who visited the page and when it was created, for example, and by whom. So this is obviously, there's way more new features. We only selected a few more that make sense in terms of using it as teams. But there are a lot of things that came out during the summer, including this program. So if you are the kind of person that already talked about Notion to so many people around you, and you're like, would have been so nice to have an affiliate link. Now it exists. So if you are, really interested in Notion, and you know that you're talking about it a lot to other people, other companies, other teams, you should probably apply because you're gonna get an affiliate link. You might as well get paid for it, right? So what happens is that you apply, you get a link, and then you will get 50% off the profit that they make, basically, of whatever plan the team is gonna get during 1 year. So let's imagine that you're talking to a team and there are like 10 people and they're gonna subscribe to the annual plan of like let's say $50 per person per year. You're gonna get I don't want to make the math, but you're gonna get basically very simple. But yeah, essentially the total, like 50% of the total for the whole team. So imagine if it's 50 people, it can be, quite constant. So definitely if you check this out, uh, you never know. You never know if this might be, bringing you something. So that's the link in case you are interested to get into this program. Obviously, it's free. You don't have anything, literally you have no obligation, but, might as well have a link for it in case someone is interested and you're like, oh yeah, use this thing. Good. And if you want to see all the new features that came out during the summer, so since June, we made a little database, obviously in Notion, by category to see what came out and what kind of category it applies. Is it like a database? Is it more like a admin or permission based? Is it more of a design kind of thing? Or yeah, essentially we try to make it. I hope it works. I made it recently. I tried it. It worked for me, but hopefully it works. And the next slide is literally just Q&A. So now we can obviously take the questions. People get up. Does anyone have a question? Can be in French, can be in English. Is you don't want to speak English? Yes. Yeah. There's Wi-Fi, but there's no slow. Bien sûr. Ouais.
Après, qui développe l'automation qui permet de faire de l'automatisation, mais qui délègue ça toujours à d'autres comme les appuyeurs.
On n'a pas d'infos là-dessus. On n'a pas d'infos claires. On spécule que oui, parce qu'ils ont racheté une boîte d'automatisation qui s'appelle Automate. Ils ont racheté la boîte en... Non, déjà.
L'année dernière.
Du coup, grâce à ça, ils ont déjà pu développer pas mal d'intégration, notamment avec GitHub, Jira, etc. Sur des histoires de preview, de liens et de database synchronisée, tout ça. On espère. On l'a fait remonter 1 million de fois, justement, parce que c'est très demandé, ces histoires de boutons et d'automatisation interne. Mais ils nous donnent pas beaucoup de visibilité là-dessus. Donc, malheureusement, on a envie d'y croire, parce que franchement, il y a beaucoup de choses qu'on avait demandées dans le passé, notamment au sein de ce programme ambassadeur, qui finalement ont vu le jour cet été. Donc, on se dit, avec un peu de chance et un peu de temps, ça arrive. D'autres questions? Mais vraiment pas craindre. On peut poser n'importe quelle question, pas forcément en fonction de ces nouveautés-là. Yes, sorry, I switched back to French, English, but don't hesitate. Like, if you have any question about Russian, you're here. Doesn't have to be directly related to the new thing.
Yeah, I have a question about the feature about the specific access rights. And if I'm correct, it comes with a doubling of the price of the license, or am I wrong?
The teams?
The team
Yeah,
space
team
is-
space, yeah.
It's for teams. So it comes in teams. No, it doesn't. It's for teams and enterprises, so it doesn't come with a total price.
Because we already pay for Notion and we wanted to get this access to Workspace or TeamSpace. It was just twice more expensive compared to what we were already paying to get access to that.
What?
We checked that a few weeks ago. I think.
What plan are you on? Teams?
I need to check, but already paying.
Because
Yeah.
I think the only difference, let me go back, is the enterprise. Yeah, the last one from the right. It's from the private reason. Any yeah. Anyone that is at least on the team space will is gonna have access to team spaces as a feature. But indeed the private team space is only on their enterprise plan. But the closed and open, you can have access to it.
So the only difference is that with the private is that the other people won't see that exists a space, but with the closed one, we can have the same level of permissions.
Yeah, the permission is the same, but you can see if it's running the workspace. You cannot join, and you cannot see the content. But it goes and all people can see that exists the space. And with this one, it's not like a ghost.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist for all the workspace members.
But yeah, they're just gonna see the title and the icon. So you can just write it secret, and they will not know what's inside. If you want.
Quelle est la fonctionnalité collaborative que vous préférez et tu peux répondre en anglais?
Parce que which sorry. Security preparation.
And the collaborating. In all. I mean, it's all
Collaborating.
it's I had to go with databases because it has a main thing. All the members in a point can see all the information. So databases essence is collaboration because one of the questions that is always asking. I want to share these databases, but I don't want people to look all of the things. And has Notion is collaborated, like a collaborating tool, so you cannot restrict that much. So I have to go with databases. Sharing.
Okay for you.
Yeah.
For me, it's all about comments. You're working with your team. It's all about comments now with the new reactions.
Yes.
So for me, it's all about collaborating, about talking, about messaging, about giving feedback. So for me, it's all about comments.
Yeah, I wanted to say the same because you can chat in real time with your team by commenting everywhere in your page, and this is really useful because there are different ways to see your comments, and yeah, this is a really interesting part.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with database, but specifically linked database in the sense that I might prefer to see data in a certain way in a certain place, but maybe my colleagues will want to see it in a different view and somewhere else, and maybe they will have different filters. I like the fact that it's the same content, same data, but we can really see it depending on what you're trying to get from that information. And if I want to filter it, sort it, I like the fact that we don't have to have so many duplicates because this has been a problem in my life many times before, having duplicate documents, and many times, you don't know which one is the right version. Here, if you use database view, you know that it's all the same content, you just visualize it differently based on the content. So that's my favorite.
And adding a bit on that, now with team spaces, we have like the risk of wanting to get a sales database, task database, I don't know, HR task database. And that's the risk with team spaces, but we advise you to not do that. To just keep it simple, one task database, one HR database, and you share the information, you filter, you sort.
Yeah, but you can share link views between teams. I think that's it.
Yeah. I must say that we knew that this was coming for a long time. I'm a bit surprised because indeed, if you restrict access and you have the database here, then the rest of the team will not have access to it. And it kind of breaks the culture of transparency that is the essence of Notion. And so it recreates the same problems that you can find in other tools. But at the same time, I understand why they do it because some teams, like specifically, let's say HR or finances, sometimes you have very specific, sensitive information that you want to be, only for that team and not the rest of the company. So that in those specific listings, it can make sense. But the rest, I agree with you.
Vous pouvez nous parler un petit peu du programme de certification Notion Tutor?
Yes, I have to answer it in English. Yes, it's a little bit long process. It's really interesting. You have an exam, then you have to show that you are sharing content about Notion, and also you need to show that you are working with Notion clients, that you have advice. It doesn't have to be a family or a friend. It has to be a client. And then you have like a work assignment when Notion present you with a case, a real case, and you have to give homework things for them.
Okay.
As a thing, it's a little bit long process, but it is very interesting. Right now, we are only 50, I think, certified
In the world.
in the world. 50 certified consultants. So you also have a little bit of support from Notion because it's a smaller group of people. And right now, to be a certified Notion consultant, you first need to gain the first batch, which is the essential batch. That is 60 questions, I think, multiple choice questions about Notion. That's the first batch that you need to get. And after that, you can start with your need to apply as a consultant. But you need to show that you have already worked with really strict. Yes.
Quite heavy for specific. But it's good because that way you're sure that it's expert.
J'ai pas entendu combien?
Yes. Plus le cas d'usage réel, plus le PCM.
That's the reason why I think it's just 750 though.
It takes some time.
Et,
The process is only the English.
et est-ce que,
With all the English.
et du coup, est-ce qu'ils vous mettent des outils à disposition pour que vous puissiez monter en compétence? Parce que, ou est-ce que c'est chacun qui deep dive alone?
Okay, so they give to the consultants like an enterprise plan, and then you have also the support of the community. It's the same as the ambassador community. So you basically you network with other motion consultants, and
Yeah, you also get some leads from Notion, but they advise you not just to wait for the leads, to have
Yeah, of course.
Also, right now, it is important to mention that you need to show your credibly and certification link to show that you're a Notion consultant. That's also new because before we only have like an image and a logo to show that we were consultants. But right now, you can verify that someone has a badge and a consultant certification by asking the credibly link, which is issued by Notion itself. So,
Question? C'est timide, hein? Non, bah, peut-être j'avais pas de questions, mais en tout cas, n'hésitez pas, mais je pense que là, sorry, maybe I switch back to English. Just to finish off in the same language. If you do have any other questions and maybe you don't have any right now, please don't hesitate to either ask them tonight, or maybe tomorrow if you're around. And also online, we are part of the, are you part of the French community?
yeah.
Yes, okay, all right. We do have a French community, as I mentioned earlier. You can join, just write Notion en français or Notion France, and you'll find it. Actually, Lou, right here, is one of the moderators of the community. So we will be very glad to have you with us and answer any questions, and also be part of events with us and challenges. And we just like to chat and share our love and the best practices and ideas.
Yeah, this is a really friendly community.
Trust me.